Okay, good morning. What we're going to be doing today is we are going to do a series of questions for Chapter 13, and then I'm going to put up the review sheet and talk in general about the exam and talk about the exam. We will have plenty of time left if you have questions about anything as we come to our last day. So, Chapter 13, there are it feels like a lot of questions, so I just counted, and I think we have 11 questions. So we'll get started with that again. Chapter 13 is 6 learning objectives, but that doesn't mean it's a huge, long chapter because the first 3 are kind of interrelated to each other. So not a bad chapter at all. Okay, so first of 11 questions. Ratios that test liquidity include all of the following except for A, asset test ratio, B, current ratio, C, debt to total assets, or D, inventory turnover. Liquidity is how rapidly things turn into cash. Do you know it?
No, I think it's C.
Okay, I think it's C. Okay, that's fair. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Okay, okay. Okay. He said he thinks it's C, and you're saying C or D, so yeah. Okay, C, okay. What do you think? C? C? Okay. And the answer is indeed C. C is a measure of your debt structure. Asset test ratio and current ratios are both measures of our current assets to current liabilities. Inventories, how fast we're selling the inventory, which relates to liquidity. So debt to total assets is a measure of risk. It's a measure of our total debt structure. So debt to total assets, C, was the correct answer. Okay, now this one, to answer this one, you may want to look at a financial statement and think about what a financial income statement looks like. A company's net income as a percentage of sales is 15%. So their net income as a percentage of sales is 15%. Using vertical analysis, the cost of goods sold as a percentage of sales must be 85%. Is that true or false? What do you think? You think it's false? Okay. Okay. Okay, on this one, we have I think it's false, and that's actually a good thought. It is false. Now, do you know why? There's other things in the income statement, and let me show you why. And this doesn't require, I just have this little thing I'm going to put up now. It's just to show you. So exactly what you were saying. What this question is saying is we know percentage of sales, the net income as a percentage of sales is 15%. It's saying does cost of goods sold, does it have to be 85%? Must be 85%. No, because if you have anything in operating expenses, cost of goods sold cannot be 85%. The only time cost of goods sold is going to be 85% here is if you have no operating expenses, which isn't very realistic anyway. So this question is false because you can have other expenses other than cost of goods sold. Okay? Okay, now we have a series of these asking about the base. Which of the following is typically used as the base in a vertical analysis of an income statement? The base for an income statement: A, cash; B, inventory; C, net income; or D, net sales. Okay, Haley, what's our, instead of picking on people right in front of me, what's our answer online? Okay, 1B, 4 C's, and 4 D's. Okay. You want to break the tie? Oh, want to break the tie, Skylar? I will tell you it's either C or D. Let me go somewhere else. Yeah, let's not go with C. Okay, so yes, the answer here is D. Okay, so income statement, again, make sure you know what the base is for an income statement and a balance sheet. So the income statement, the base is always going to be your net sales or your net sales revenue, something like that. So it's a top number on the income statement. Okay, so next question. Okay, so now that was the income statement. Now let's talk about the balance sheet. Which of the following is typically used as the base in a vertical analysis of a balance sheet? A, total liabilities; B, cash; C, total assets; or D, gross sales. Remember, the base is what you divide every single number on the balance sheet by. Haley, what do we have online? 6 C's and 1 D. That's pretty predominant. Okay, so it is total assets. So yes, when you do a vertical analysis of a balance sheet, you're using total assets. So on the income statement, we have revenue, total revenue or net revenue, and on the balance sheet, total assets. Okay, common size analysis. Common size analysis is when we make every number on the statement a percentage. So common size analysis is also known as trend analysis, ratio analysis, vertical analysis, or matrix analysis. What do you think? I can't imagine why you don't bring them to class, right? Yeah. What do you think? Okay, okay. What do you think? B, okay. What do you think? C, okay. Okay. What do you have online, Haley? I've got B's and C's. 3 B's and 4 C's. Okay. You know what? C. It is C. Yeah. C. Common size analysis is a form of vertical analysis. True or false? Common size financial statements report only dollar amounts. What do you guys think? False? And you know one of you is going to be right. Okay. What about you? True? Okay. What about you? True? Okay. What do you think? True? True? False? False? Ooh, we're on a trend here. Common size financial statements. Common size, fundamentally what common size means is we can compare companies of all different sizes. Can we compare companies of all different sizes with dollar amounts? No. So this has to be false. Common size financial statements are all in percentages. Okay, so this is false. Okay. Keep following up in there. Which of the following would be most helpful in the comparison of different sized companies? Haley, I'm going to let you report here. Everyone's answering D. Yes. Okay. And that is absolutely the right answer. So common size financial statements, different size companies, that's how we compare them. Okay, following up again, common size balance sheet, each item is expressed as a percentage of what? What do you think the answer is? C? You don't know yet? It's nice and warm over here.
Again.
Yeah.
So nice.
Over there it's cold. Yeah. See? Okay. What do you think? What? I have no idea. Okay. C? Okay. C? Okay. Getting a lot of C's over here. What about you, Haley? C has a majority. Okay. And it is C, because this is just another way of saying what's the base on a balance sheet, total assets. When you are doing a vertical analysis or common size financial statements on a balance sheet, you're always dividing by total assets. Doesn't matter what the item is. Okay. On a common size balance sheet, income taxes payable, which is a current liability, is expressed as a percentage of what? Okay. Josh has left you alone here this last day. Okay, so what do you think on this one? This is the balance sheet.
Oh, balance sheet.
C is your choice? Okay, what about you? D. Okay. What about you? Okay, you're going to say D, but you don't know. Okay. What do you think over here? C? D? What do you think? C? 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 Okay. Blake? C? 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 It's C. You sound pretty sure. Yeah. Okay. So the answer is C. This is just another way of asking what's the base on a balance sheet, total assets. Okay? So income statement, no matter what it is, it's going to be, the base is going to be revenue or sales revenue. Balance sheet, you're always going to divide by total assets, no matter what account you're talking about. Okay, now we have a couple of questions that you're going to need to refer to your notes from Monday. These are calculation questions. So we have net sales of $20 million and cost of goods sold of $14 million. Average inventory for the year was $4 million. So they're your given average inventory. You don't need to calculate it. What's the average number of days in inventory? On average, how many days does it take us to sell our inventory? So look at your notes from Monday, because we did this, and then we'll go through it. Look at you. These are the slides from the picture. Haley's giving a hint in the chat window. Inventory turnover is cost of goods sold divided by average inventory. I believe this is a two-step one, isn't it? Yeah. So step one would be cost of goods sold divided by average inventory. Okay, so I'm going to go forward as this one. The answer will be B, 104 days. And how we get that, step one, we're going to take 14 divided by 4, okay, and we get 3.5. So that's the first step. So that's our cost of goods sold divided by our average inventory gives us the inventory turnover of 3.5. Then our next step is to say, okay, let's take 365 days in a year and divide by 3.5, and we get about 104, approximately 104. Okay, next question, another calculation. We had accounts receivable balance of $420,000 at the beginning of the year and year-end balance of $510,000. Right there, that tells me I'm going to need an average because I've got a beginning of the year and end of the year. Net sales for the year totaled $2,100,000. What's our average collection period for receivables? Okay, on this one, let's go through how we do it. The answer is 81 days. And how we get there, okay, first thing, ignore the parenthesis in the beginning. That's a straight parenthesis. Take 2,100,000, so I'm taking my net sales for the year, dividing by 365 to get my average daily sales. So my average daily sales, 5,753.4, okay. Okay, then the next step after you have your average daily sales is to take to get your average accounts receivable. So that's where we're taking 420,000 beginning, adding the year-end balance of 510,000, dividing by 2, dividing by that daily sales. So we end up with 81 days. And there's a debate going on in the chat window about rounding. Obviously, with multiple choice, you're going to choose the closest answer. We typically in here use a 5-4 rounding rule. So if it's 5 or higher, it would round up. lower than 5, it'll round down. And in homework, it'll tell you in the problem what you have to round to, and use that 5-4 rounding rule all the time, but it'll tell you how many decimal places. You can, in the homework, you can also use to help me solve this to see how many decimal places if you want a model of your answer. But it should usually be in green above the problem. It'll tell you the rounding instructions. Okay? I feel like we should have like a drum roll or something, or we should have had one. That was our last question for the semester, so we're done with questions. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to talk a little bit. I've got some administrative stuff to talk about, and I'll be taking questions in a minute here. So due this weekend, Chapter 13 homework, the Chapter 13 attendance quiz over Classroom Monday, and today. So it's very standard. The final exam review sheet is on Blackboard. If you wish, you can access it directly at tiny.cc/final-exam. And it covers chapters 8 through 13. So it's not comprehensive in terms of where the questions are being drawn from. And it's selected learning objectives, as we covered in class and in study plan. So when we said we're not doing these learning objectives that hold for the final exam. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put up the review sheet. We're not going to go over it in detail, but okay. Okay, so the review sheet, what we've got on the review sheet, I'm going to put this over here and let Haley scroll through it a little bit as we go, if you don't mind. Just leave it there for now. I'll tell you when I want to scroll. Okay, so the review sheet, and again, this is something you want to take a look at. I use lots of pages to do it, so I can make sure I was trying to be as complete as possible. So the first page is just some general information. This is only a general guideline. You need to see the detailed information on Blackboard for complete exam information. This is a review sheet. It doesn't contain every rule about the exam. The exam rules are much the same as the other two exams. The big thing here is if you are taking it for the bonus, you have to have submitted it by 6 p.m. on Sunday. Okay, if you submit at 6:01, you don't get the bonus. Just because I have to have a cutoff at 6 p.m. You have to start it by 4 p.m. on Sunday, or if you're going to do that. The exam ends at 4 p.m. Friday of finals week, not 5 p.m. I've got in my accounting lab, it's going to show 5 p.m., but that's simply an administrative thing so that I don't cut someone off within 1 minute. But the exam is officially over at 4 p.m. Again, just like every other exam, the best way to prepare for it is using study plan to practice the exercises, practice those multiple choice. Those multiple choice and study plans, several of them do end up on your exam. So it is good to do both the multiple choice and the exercises on your exam are in study plan. The exercises are not in this review sheet. They are in study plan. That's the best way to learn those. So why don't we just go to the next page. Because of bandwidth, we can't scroll all the time. We'll be waiting for a long time. This is my gesture control. Okay. Look at that. It just rolls. Yeah. So this is not a good thing to, we're not going to scroll through the entire document. But again, at the top of, so I started each new chapter on a new page and generally double spaced it just to make it more readable. But notice in the top of each chapter heading, I'm telling you what learning objectives. So you have it there as reference. The exam starts at 8 a.m. Sunday, okay? So Then also notice there's, and sometimes in the outline here, notice here on available for sale securities, we are not covering the equity method or the consolidation method. I included some of that here just to clarify because it was in the chapter and it was kind of wound in there, and I just wanted to make sure you knew. So this review sheet's going to go through the basic outline, what you need to know for the final in terms of conceptual questions. I don't think scrolling is particularly a good idea. Why don't we scroll to chapter 9, and then we'll stop scrolling on this one. And I've done some sample journal entries there too. So you'll see chapter 9 at the heading there. It will tell you we're covering chapter learning objectives 1, 2, 4, and 5. Okay, so again, if you're questioning, we're trying to remember which learning objectives we did, this is all on the review sheet. The review sheet is listed on Blackboard under exam info. It's one of the top items. Okay, questions about the review sheet? Okay, I'm going to switch back to my PowerPoint. Okay. That wasn't too bad. Yeah. Okay, so final exam review sheets there, selected learning objectives. There we go. Okay, oops. I think I just went too far here. Okay, there we go. Okay, finals week office hours. My office hours are different finals week. Monday and Tuesday, I'm in my office from 8:30 to 11. I want to have office hours early in the week because if you need assistance with something, earlier is better. By Thursday or Friday, there's not much time left to study or anything, so I'm in Monday and Tuesday. I will be posting an announcement about that to remind you. This week is the last week for tutoring with Haley, so there's tutoring today and tomorrow, and those are the last opportunities. So sign up. That sign up is on Blackboard. Okay, we went over this on Monday, but I'll go over it one more time. On Blackboard under exam info, there are details for the 10-point bonus opportunity. If you take the final exam Sunday, December 8th, between 8 a.m., start it between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m., you must submit it by 6 p.m., you will get 10 bonus points added to your score. The 10 points do not add on to your score until I do it, and I'll do that late Sunday night or early Monday morning. So I would assume that they'll, in a perfect world, I'm going to do it at 6 p.m. on Sunday. So that's when you're going to see it. You don't see it when you submit your exam. Okay, it's something that added. You will know it's been added. First of all, your score will be 10 points higher. And also, there'll be a little asterisk next to it, and the time will change, I believe, to the time that I added it. So right around, I would guess, 6 o'clock on Sunday, you're going to see that added. And the reason you have to submit by 6 p.m., I add the 10 points once. And if your exam isn't completed, you don't get the 10 points, okay? So, so the 10 points gets added around 6 p.m. It should show up pretty close to 6 p.m. No exceptions. That said, if you're registered with Student Accessibility Services Office, I think you should have contacted me already. But other than that subset, there are no exceptions. If you take it Sunday, you will get the 10 points, okay, between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. starting it. This applies if you take it in the lab or Proctor U. Complete exam instructions information is on Blackboard. Everything you need to know in terms of whether there's one lab open or two, I don't know. It depends on the date and the time. You just have to, do not go to the lab expecting to take it the minute you walk in. In many cases, that will work, but the later in the week that you show up, the more potential for lines. Also, Sunday, I will tell you the experience we had last semester. Sunday, we did the same thing with the bonus. And our class is the only class officially being invited to the lab Sunday morning from 8 to noon, so it should be only us. Brian and I will both be tutoring, proctoring at certain points during the day on Sunday. Our experience last semester when we did this, about half the students took the exam on Sunday, which is great. It was pretty steady all day. There was a line at 8 a.m. when we opened up, but we got people in pretty quickly, and then it churns pretty fast. Average person takes a little under an hour to take the final. So if you're waiting in line and the lab is full, know that most people are going to finish within an hour, so there's going to be an opening, fairly soon. So last year on Sunday, we had some people at peak times wait maybe 10 or 15 minutes. That's no promise or guarantee, and certainly if you come at 3 o'clock Sunday, I would be extremely nervous about my chances because you're taking a risk then. If you come Sunday morning or even early afternoon, you can say, well, chances are it'll be fine, but we are limited by the number of computers, and it does end, the bonus period does end 6 p.m., it's done. So, and also know that when Brian and I are there proctoring, we are there as proctors. We're not going to answer questions. I cannot, and I can't tell you how many times this happens, and I can't do it. People will finish their exam and then come talk to me about their grade. I can't have those conversations in the lab. I'm there as a proctor, and I don't want to be discussing your grade in public, and that's what office hours are for. So 8:30 to 11. Okay, your 1 lowest homework score and 2 lowest quiz scores will be dropped by Monday, December 9th. Chances are that's probably going to happen Sunday morning. I always like to give myself a little bit of leeway. But once I do that, I'll post an announcement. You'll be able to look at your scores in my accounting lab once they've been dropped, and you'll see a couple scores will be grayed out, and it might say lowest score, something like that. So your 1 lowest homework score and your 2 lowest quiz scores, doesn't matter what kind of quiz it is. Every quiz is worth exactly the same. Every homework is worth exactly the same. So your 1 lowest homework, your 2 lowest quiz scores. And that'll happen probably Sunday morning or sometime Sunday, certainly by Monday morning. Course grades will be entered in Flashline by Tuesday, December 17th. I cannot discuss your individual grade with you. Certainly if there's an error, I need to know about it. The sooner the better. I don't anticipate any errors, but if you email me, this is a typical situation, and it is sad, but we have to think about being fair to everyone. Someone will email me and say, I'm only a percentage point away from the next highest grade. Can you bump me up? Because I need a higher grade for whatever reason. The problem with me bumping you up is that's not fair to the other people between you and that next higher grade. So then I say, okay, well then I'll bump everyone up in that range. And then what happens is we have another person right below that. So I am not going to adjust any one person's score. So if you email me and say, I need to pass this class or I need to do this, you're going to be treated exactly the same way as everyone else. The comfort for you is knowing that if anyone gets bumped, everyone's getting bumped. So it's not, I'm going to be fair across the board. There's no way for me to pick a cutoff point that doesn't make someone right below the cutoff. So your best bet is to do as well on the final as you can. That said, back to this 10-point bonus on the final. If you are not ready for the final on Sunday, that 10-point bonus is not going to compensate for taking it Sunday. If you need the extra time to study, take the extra time, take it later in the week. You can certainly make up for more than the 10 points if you don't take it Sunday. So if you're not ready, do not take it Sunday. But if you are planning your finals week and that works out for you, certainly it's a good opportunity to get the 10 bonus points. But do not take it Sunday just for the 10 bonus points. You can certainly study to get more than that 10 points if you're going to take it later in the week. Okay. Okay, and I guess I just am reiterating. Sunday, 8 a.m. p.m. until Friday, 4 p.m. The exam is going to finish at 4 p.m. Friday. There is a 2-hour time limit on the exam, and so when you start it, it's going to submit automatically within 2 hours or at the end of Friday at 4. It's going to get cut off. So Sunday, though, emphasis, if you don't finish your exam by 6 p.m., you don't get the points, period. Okay? And it sounds harsh, but I have to have a cutoff point because I've got exams going on in Proctor U and in the lab. So 6 p.m. Sunday is our cutoff. If your exam is not submitted by 6 p.m., you don't get the 10 points. Okay, let me see what else. Okay, so now let me go back over here and ask, does anyone have any questions I can answer? Questions? Yes.
If there's like a curve, are you accepting the curve?
Whether you get the 10-point bonus or not has no impact on the curve. Okay? I would absolutely not plan on a curve.
No, I'm not
yeah.
saying no, you would.
No, that has no bearing on it. Yeah. Okay. Anyone else? Okay. How many what? How many questions are on the test? That information is in exam info on Blackboard. I don't know off the top of my head. Anyone else? Anyone online? Okay, well, oops, I missed the last question. Did she say no curve on the exam? I said do not plan on a curve on the exam. Okay, so anyway, so that's it. Have a good Christmas break. Keep in touch, and I'll get your grades done as soon as I can after Friday. You stop recording.